The neural performance core represents the absolute and ultimate apex state of both sustained, high-level cognitive and physiological human output. Clinical dietetics often fails to reach this state because it views food exclusively as a source of macronutrient fuel. Evaluating a diet based only on its caloric density or protein-to-fat ratios ignores the biological complexity required to process those inputs. This systems biology framework treats dietary intake as biological code, a set of instructions that direct cellular behavior rather than simple material for combustion. Achieving this level of output requires a specific biological foundation. The neuro performance core sits atop a four-part stack of interdependent systems. You cannot maintain apex cognitive clarity without first engineering the three layers of the biological foundation beneath it. Two variables are missing from the traditional fuel model. The first is the exact timeline of ingestion. Chrononutrition aligns nutrient intake with the body's internal biological clocks, ensuring the metabolic system is primed for the specific molecules it receives. The second missing variable is the biochemical interaction of specific food pairings. The bioavailability of any given nutrient changes significantly depending on the other compounds ingested during the same meal. These two variables, timing and combination, form the four structural pillars of the neuroperformance system. The health benefits of this protocol emerge from the precise intersection of what is eaten, the hour it is consumed, and the compounds it is paired with. The first tier is the metabolic and digestive anchor. Circadian rhythms dictate baseline metabolic function. The body's ability to process energy is not constant. It follows a strict internal schedule. This chart shows how insulin sensitivity fluctuates over a 24-hour cycle. There are specific physiological windows where the body is primed for energy intake, and others where it is resistant. When you consume nutrients at the wrong metabolic time, the result is erratic glycemic variability. The body is forced to manage a glucose load it is not currently programmed to handle. This recurring glycemic instability causes physical stress to the gastrointestinal tract, which impairs the absorption of every subsequent nutrient. The metabolic anchor depends entirely on timing. Without circadian alignment, the entire biological stack rests on an unstable foundation. Systemic cellular inflammation acts as the primary degrader of both the metabolic anchor and your overall cognitive output. To prevent this degradation, we must establish the second pillar, the anti-inflammatory shield. This shield is not created by single ingredients. It is the result of specific food pairings that neutralize inflammatory triggers. Combining healthy fats with fat-soluble antioxidants allows these molecules to lock together. This pairing forms a barrier over the cell membrane, actively suppressing the release of inflammatory cytokines. Without the accompanying fat molecule, the antioxidant is often repelled by the cell membrane, failing to absorb and leaving the cell vulnerable to inflammatory stress. Because inflammation physically blocks cellular receptors, this shield is a strict biological prerequisite for hormone signaling and nutrient uptake. Once the anchor is stable and the shield is active, we can support the third pillar, hormonal and cellular support. A secure metabolic anchor provides the reliable ATP and energy necessary for the endocrine system to synthesize hormones. This feedback loop shows how the anti-inflammatory shield protects the signaling pathways, ensuring that hormonal messages reach their target cells without interruption. Timing amino acid intake for the evening window takes advantage of the natural surge in growth hormone, accelerating overnight cellular repair. Similarly, targeted lipid ingestion during the morning window provides the raw materials required for neurotransmitter synthesis. Hormonal support is the logical result of the metabolic and inflammatory systems working in tandem. The final tier of the biological stack is micronutrient synergy. Traditional supplementation often fails because isolated micronutrients lack the enzymatic cofactors found in whole foods, leading to poor cellular utilization. In this pharmacokinetic model, an isolated supplement produces a brief, shallow concentration curve. The nutrient is filtered out before the body can effectively utilize it. Combining these supplements with specific whole food cofactors changes the biological math. This synergy creates an exponential increase in bioavailability. The nutrient stays in the system longer and reaches much higher concentrations at a cellular level. This synergy serves as the final catalyst for the entire stack, maximizing the effectiveness of the foundational layers before cognitive optimization begins. All four foundational tiers are now in place. This hierarchy functions as a biological circuit. The metabolic anchor provides energy for synthesis, the shield keeps receptors open so hormones bind, and synergy maximizes cellular response. As these systems stabilize, the resulting efficiency concentrates at the neural level. This specific methodology optimizes for the neuro-performance core, using internal biological stability as the primary engine for cognitive output. This apex state of output is achieved only when all four foundational systems are executed in the correct sequence. Clinical practitioners must shift their perspective on dietary prescription. Precise time-of-day execution is the only way to establish the necessary metabolic anchor. Specific biochemical food combinations are a clinical requirement to ensure nutrients can actually bypass inflammatory barriers. Applying this architectural framework moves the practitioner beyond simple caloric math toward a highly engineered state of neurological clarity. By mastering these four pillars, dietetics transitions into an advanced human performance architecture.